All right, so if you're moving to Dana Point, you might be curious about what the cost of living is. In this next video, I'm gonna cover the cost of housing, utilities, eating out, and everything else that you need to know, so stay tuned. I'm Ryan Schramm, and I'm a top producing real estate agent here in South Orange County. So before we begin, make sure and hit the little bell icon below and subscribe to my channel, where I'm gonna keep you up to speed on real estate tips and tricks and everything you need to know for housing in South Orange County. Let's jump into it. The main thing people think of when they think of cost of living is housing. Now, we all know that housing prices have gone up significantly across the United States recently, and South Orange County is no different. Prices have definitely gone up considerably in the last few years. When you look at Dana Point as a whole, it's definitely more expensive than the average parts of the United States, and it is a more expensive area in California altogether. According to my multiple listing service, the average price single family home in Dana Point is around $1.75 million. In addition to that, the average price condo is right around $812,000. So there's quite a disparity between a single family residence and a condo. Why is that? Well, Dana Point has some amazing properties up into the $20 million range that are frequently on the market. Dana Point, however, doesn't have a ton of condos. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty to choose from, but the difference between a condo and a single family in this instance is huge. So that's why you see a pretty big spread on the average. Another thing that's important to keep in mind, and this might be kind of different to you or where you're coming from, is most properties in South Orange County and Dana Point are gonna have an HOA due attached to them. The HOA could be really insignificant, like around $100 a month, or if you're in a condo, it could be much more substantial, where it's not uncommon to see HOA dues from maybe $500 to even sometimes $1,000 per month. So if you're looking for a property, that's a question that you're gonna wanna ask me, hey, what are the HOA dues here and what do they cover? All right, so a question you might be asking yourself, why is Dana Point so much more expensive? Well, this city of ours, Dana Point, it caters to everyone from all different walks of life. Just some examples: professionals, families, retirees. Dana Point is an amazing place to live. The beaches are incredible. Dana Point has one of the most incredible harbors in all of the coast, the California coast, and the climate. The microclimate here is the main reason why Dana Point is such an amazing place to live, and people want to live here. Just for example, today, a few days before Thanksgiving, it's 80 degrees outside and it's not even noon yet. So most of the time it's sunny, and most of the time the average temp is right around 72 degrees. You really can't beat that. If you didn't want to deal with the higher home prices in Dana Point, just 10 to 15 minutes inland, you'll see a considerable adjustment downward for the average price of a single family in a condo. So that might be an option for you as well. Now, on the other hand, Dana Point and the coastal cities in South Orange County have a really attractive property tax rate. If you're going to buy a house in Dana Point or San Clemente, you can expect to pay right around 1.1 to 1.2% in totality for your annual property taxes. So super simple math: if you're buying $1 million home, the annual property tax rate, multiply it by 1.2%, and that's what you can expect. And that's a pretty attractive feature of living in South Orange County as well. So what if you want to rent a property in Dana Point? Just like if you were looking to purchase, the difference between a single family and a condo is pretty drastic. The average rental price for a single family in Dana Point is right around $5,600 per month, while the average for a condo is down around $3,100 per month. So renting could be a viable option for you as well. So now that we've covered all the housing costs, let's jump into utilities. So getting back to that weather in Orange County and Dana Point specifically, an amazing climate, a little bit on the warmer side with temps ranging from 75 to 80 degrees. So why does that matter? Well, you might have to run your air conditioning more often. The national average for electricity pricing, and they base it off of a kilowatt, is 14 cents. In Dana Point, the kilowatt hour starts at 34 cents and can sometimes be as high as 43 cents. So if you're running your air conditioning more often, your utility bill is going to be more expensive. But what's nice is that we have coastal breezes here in Dana Point, and a lot of times people just elect to open their windows and let that breeze cool down the house. It's coming right off the Pacific Ocean, so that air is getting a little bit cooler. So if you have a property with a nice breeze, you might not even care to run your air conditioning at all. How about transportation? It's no surprise that California has some of the highest fuel costs across the country. I think today it's right around $5 a gallon, which is crazy. And if you're commuting to Irvine or parts further north in Orange County, you can expect to pay a lot in fuel prices, no doubt. But there are some public transportation options available to you. For example, we've got the Surfliner and Metrolink trains available in South Orange County, and that's about it. So definitely plan to pay for higher fuel costs if you're going to be living here in South Orange County. And along those same lines, it is important to note that car insurance and car registration is going to be more expensive in South Orange County as well. What does the sales tax and income tax look like? Great question. If you're living in Dana Point, you can expect the sales tax to be 7.75%, which is lower when comparing it to the entire state of California. So that's something to look forward to. Now, in regards to income tax, California tax is based on a 9-tier point system. Your tax rate is all dependent on the income that you make. So you can expect to see California's income tax anywhere from 1 to 13%, depending on how much money you make every year. For retirees out there, it's important for you to know that Social Security benefits are not taxed. And for any veteran who's receiving disability benefits, that's not taxed either. Now that we've covered all the expenses and what it costs to live in Dana Point, how are you going to pay for it all? I did some research. The US Census Bureau shows that the average household median income across the United States is right around $69,000 annually. Contrast that to Orange County, where the average median household income is just under $100,000. So that's right around a $20,000 to $30,000 difference, which kind of helps make up for the added cost of living when living in South Orange County. One of your thoughts might be that Dana Point is way too expensive to live. I'm telling you, it's very unique how there are certain parts of Dana Point which are super expensive, and then there are other pockets that are definitely more affordable. So I'm gonna pull up a map here. Check this out. If you look at the map, right here is Dana Point Harbor, and I'm hovering my mouse right over Dana Point Harbor. So anything in the immediate area of the harbor, like right above this harbor here along this road, these homes are super expensive, $5 to $15 million depending on the size of the lot. Here's the Dana Point headlands. There's some really expensive condos and single family homes right on the headland. And then going north along the Strands Beach, this is where I referenced earlier in the video. In the Strands, you might have homes easily reaching $20 million. And here around Monarch Beach and Niguel Shores are some very pricey homes as well. But where does it get more affordable? Right here over Dana Hills High School, where I'm circling my mouse, the homes right behind the high school here, you can find a really nice 2,000 square foot, 4-bedroom home in that low $1 million price point. And there's another community over here, right behind the Albertsons. It's called the Thunderbirds and Dana Knolls. That's probably where you're gonna get your best bang for your buck for a single family home. So there's definitely some affordable areas for single families. And then there's some really nice condos, actually brand new construction condos right here behind Doheny State Beach that are worth considering as well. I hope you found this video informative and that it helped you get a better understanding of what it looks like as far as the cost of living in Dana Point. I'm a local realtor here, so if you have any questions or if you know of somebody who's been searching in Dana Point, or if you want to buy or sell in Dana Point, reach out to me. You can text me or email me. I'd love to hear from you. Talk to you soon.